Okay. So hello, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, absolutely. The sound is great. The vision is great. Everything is okay. So you're welcome.
Okay, so I should do this way then. Just a second. I don't know, for some reasons it doesn't work this way. So let me introduce myself. My name is Bostan Haят, and today I'll be talking about raising global citizenship awareness. Thank you very much for introducing me. I've studied here. In Almaty. I've finished school number 15, and then I've entered Kazakh National University of World Languages, and then graduated a main TESOL program from KIMAP University. Yes, I'm the head of linguistic department at Quantum STEM School. I'm a teacher trainer, CELTA trainer, co-author of a best-selling book in South Korea, and I've designed the course Fostering 21st Century Skills. And today, yes, I am presenting on behalf of Oxford University Press. I'm changing the slides. Do you see that the slides are being changed? Seems like you don't see that I'm changing slides.
White screen. Yeah,
white screen.
Now we can see.
Oh, okay, good. So what does global citizenship mean? Is there anyone who can help me with the concept? Any ideas? Okay, so if not, let me just show you the video that will help you to get the general concept of what does this mean. Can you hear the sound?
No, if you don't share it. Now we can, yeah.
Okay, you hear the sound, right?
The challenges we face are diverse, but they concern us. We need a global group. What education teaches us to lead, write, and count. What is individual action?
I'm sorry, may I ask someone to mute?
Yes. I'm sorry, Володя, please. Уважаемые монгольские коллеги, мы не можем вас выключить, пожалуйста. Выключите звук. Даже не могу.
Ms. Wilson, I think you can do this yourself. Okay.
Володя, у меня нет прав администратора, к сожалению.
I see. Okay, let me increase the volume then, so you'll hear what is happening.
Becoming one. The challenges we face are diverse, but they concern us. We need education teaches us to lead.
Я прошу прощения еще раз. Володя, пожалуйста, выключите звук. Может, кто-то на казахском им скажет, да?
I'm sorry, may we ask you to switch off the yourself? Let me move on.
Because individual actions now have a global impact, we have to change the way we think and act. What if Education was transformative. What if education encouraged us to care about mission? What if education taught us about peace, protecting our environment, human rights, respect, cultural diversity, justice? What if education gave us the skills we need to answer the big questions of the day? Find solutions to the interconnected challenges of the 21st century. Global citizenship education. It gives us the keys to a just, peaceful, tolerant, and inclusive.
Я позвонила нашему айтишнику, может быть, он сейчас уберет.
So nowadays, it's very
буквально 2
important to
минуты.
talk. Okay. And who is the host here?
Перевозит в свой кабинет наш айтишник. Его здесь нет. Я позвонила ему сейчас.
Могу все-таки позвонить.
Okay, thank you. Yes. So why is this important to talk about global citizenship awareness today? Why is this becoming very popular all over the world? Since there are a lot of things happening in the world, like war, bullying, suicide. So we have to make sure that we educators, we take responsibility for a lot of things that is happening nowadays in the world. So that's why it's very important to raise our children's awareness so that they know that this is something that can lead to serious issues. So the definition actually of global citizenship awareness is that it's a form of civic learning that involves students' active participation in projects that address global issues of a social, political, economic, and environmental nature. So they have to understand that whatever is happening, somehow we people are in charge of this. So that's why it's very important to talk and integrate this into our curriculum. So it aims to empower learners to engage and assume active roles, both locally and globally, to face and resolve global challenges, and ultimately to become proactive contributors to a more just, peaceful, tolerant, inclusive, secure, and sustainable world. So it's not that they think somewhere, for example, the school is somewhere in rural area and then they think of some global challenges. No, we shouldn't work this way. So that what they should do, they should start from local issues. It can be based in school, for example, some issues that the school is facing. So what can we students do to change the world, to change the situation? Let it be bullying. So they can take responsibility with this and they can think of different programs, reforms, how to change this. So it can be just part of the curriculum as well. So being proactive means to take responsibility and make changes at your level. So of course, we teachers, we educators, we have to do this first. So we have a lot of teachers, subject teachers, who just come and teach their subject and leave. I think that's absolutely wrong because we should take responsibility for what is happening in the classroom, whether the classroom is clean or not. In which way do we leave the classroom when we leave and have to teach in another classroom, for instance? How do we react to bullying in the classroom? Do we pretend that we don't see this, or do we somehow react and say that that's wrong or discuss? Okay. A lot of things have to happen, definitely, and that's why it's very important for us educators to be proactive today. Not complain, but take responsibility. So 4 things that stay under the umbrella of global citizenship awareness. This is education for diversity and inclusion. That's when we accept when we talk about gender inequality and different issues related to racism, for example. Okay, education for civic participation. This is development of education in terms of social justice, for example. Education for economic participation. This is everything about like 21st century skills. intercultural education. We talk about this, that students have to know this, but we teachers, do we know this? This is a very good question, right? Education for managing resources. Well, yes, these topics are somehow incorporated into curriculum in terms of environmental issues or education for sustainability, for example. Okay. So how does this concept fit into the state standards, national curricula, and programs of study offered in the school and universities? So actually it perfectly fits, because if you look at the 4 domains that we have, I mean, global citizenship encompasses, you will see that actually it perfectly correlates with values that the Ministry of Education is always talking about. For example, socio-emotional, students develop values, attitudes that help them live respectfully and peacefully, right? So it does correlate with the Ministry of Education in Kazakhstan says. Behavioral, students are motivated to participate, fight injustice, and become agents of change. This is something that is happening. That is already like value. Cognitive, students become knowledgeable and critical literate about global issues related to the environment, development, human rights, and citizenship. It does perfectly correlate, which means that we can use it. So how to use it? Let me show you the demo lesson. Let me show you, not the demo lesson, okay? But let me show you what I did, for example, with my students. Okay, so here is the lesson that I designed for my students. These are upper intermediate level students, but actually you can do this with any level. For example, if we talk about primary school, the lesson can be based on, for example, in the family topic, based on kindness or friendship, kindness. That's how you integrate this. Okay, so what is the first thing? The first thing is lead in. You ask your students to look at the pictures and answer the questions. Like, do you know these people? What do you know about these people? I will be honest, my students, they know only these 2 people. They had no idea who are these 2 people, so which is absolutely okay. They're just students, right? Okay, then you say, who are they? You can give some information, and then you ask, what do they have in common? Elicit information that these students, that these people, they fight for human rights, they fight for environmental issues, they want to make sure that the world is changing, right? And then you can ask, who is the global citizen? You can say, these people are global citizens. So who are the global citizens? Then they watch the video. I have the video from TED Talk, just the first minute, because in the first minute, he actually gives the concept of what does this mean? What does this term mean? Then again, I asked the question whether their predictions, whether their ideas were right. Actually, the first time when I asked who is the global citizen, what my students said, they said, probably it's someone who has a passport and he can travel all over the world, which is absolutely okay, because a lot of teachers don't know the concept. This is a pretty new concept, okay? So here they say, okay, we were wrong, that's what it means. Then watch the rest of the talk and answer the questions. This one is for gist, right? Where they read and identified, okay, this is the main idea. And here they ask for more specific questions, but actually this is not the skill lesson. This is more to introduce the concept, but still based on listening task, right? Okay. And then you give the problems. You give the problem to the group. You can have discussion. You can actually, I had more questions here. I had more tasks here. And the next task would be students choose one problem and suggest solution. For example, bullying at school. Let's be honest, bullying at school happens like everywhere. Even if in our school we have anti-bullying policy, but still it happens because students come from different backgrounds. And this is happening. And then cyberbullying. So, and what can you do to remedy the situation? That's when you teach them to become proactive. That it's not only administration, school administration, that's not only teachers, only working all together, we can change something. And based on this, actually, last year, my students from 11th grade, what they did, they designed a project and they decided to talk to students from primary school, talking about informing them about the consequences of bullying, what can happen and why is this bad. So here you can also integrate emotional intelligence, where you teach them how people feel when they're being bullied, when you discuss these particular things. A lot of things actually could have been done in this particular lesson. If you want to include higher order of thinking, talking about Bloom's taxonomy, what you can do, you can then say, okay, you have great solutions. Now let's evaluate your solutions. Of course, this is for those students who have good critical thinking skills. If you think that this would be challenging for them, then you can delete some things. For example, legality, yes, they can answer the question, whether it's legal or not, right? For example, cost, will it cost something? If they want to say that we want to talk to students, for example, from primary school, will this cost anything? So 2 or 3, if you leave 2 or 3 criteria to evaluate, you already include higher order of thinking. So which basically means that you integrate a lot of things, and it's not just about language. So in this particular case, your lesson becomes valuable in terms of difference that you do to the community.